it's a little bit further towards the event center than the one that exists now. The playground is what is in the detailed area above that is the kind of darker box is the concession restroom for the football fields, and then the lighter box up there is where the playground's located. It's located right off of the trail, the existing trail. You know, the playground is here. We talked about the playground some. We're excited to build it. We're excited to see it in use. We've worked with Councilwoman Cantu and with some people at the school that are in the special education and special needs, and so we've designed a playground that very much is the state of the art for those needs. It's going to be the best one regionally, certainly. I mean, best one in this part of the state. It's designed. It has wide decks, long entry platforms. There's a couple of pieces on it that are specifically designed for handicapped children. There's a wheelchair swing in the area, and there's also it's kind of they call it an all-inclusive swing. It kind of looks like a big car seat that hangs on a swing that has straps you can strap on, and also a regular swing. So there is many elements for handicapped children, and y'all will all see it whenever it gets finished. But there's also many elements for able-bodied children, and so I think we've put together an area that everybody can enjoy and enjoy together. There's not segregation in the playground, like this is the handicap side, this is the able-bodied side. It all kind of intermingles together very well. So we're excited to see that go up. Like I say, we'll start planned equipment's on site. Plan is to start next week, and I hope next time I come to present, there's a whole bunch of stuff finished over there.
Sean, can you talk about the equipment that you sent to Troy?
We kind of, they went back through preparing for the what's that?
Just putting the lights.
Oh, the lights back on. Thank you. It's going to be bright. We went back through, and there was a few questions about. It was more preference kind of driven things on the field. They wanted a different style of the home plate. The Little League Association being they wanted a different style of the home plate. We talked about the last city council meeting I was at. We talked about bat racks. They wanted a different style of a removable pitching mound, plate for the softball field, so they can put it in a couple of different locations. And so all that I worked with Mr. Tackett, kind of started Monday, and he got me his list of the things that they would like to get, and stuff shipped out to him today. So he said that they would take care of making sure it all gets in the right places. So we ordered the stuff and shipped it directly to his house, so it doesn't get lost in a big city building or something like that. So
yeah, we just wanted to make sure that the request, because I think that was one of the questions as we prepared for this agreement, going back and forth was a punch list and those kind of things in bases. And I know Mr. Tappan's had a conversation electronically with you, Councilwoman Place One, to say there. So we just wanted to say that he ordered the equipment based on theirs. We didn't ask for any part of this project, but we had it shipped to them, so it won't be it shipped here, it shipped something else, right, or it shipped to the warehouse and nobody knew where it was at. And so he should have possession of those in the next 5 to 7 business days, and so hopefully we'll have everything in place for open house.
And that equipment belongs to the city?
It does belong to the city. They're going to put it into place. It just that we didn't want it to get lost, because sometimes when they do different things at the event center, sometimes it goes to the front, sometimes it goes to the back, and so it's a confusion. So we wanted to make sure that they have it. However, other people, professionals or other adults that play, they wouldn't use these mounds. It'd be just for the league. But we wanted to say that I know it's been a little point of contention that the city's trying to, and our contract is trying to work with and accommodate the Little League so that they can have that going forward.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Mr.
Yes.
Stewart.
Okay, who's going to be in charge of the roads? Like right now, to the left of when you're driving in from the left of the fields, I mean, they're like really, really bad.
The roads that are going around the field?
Yes.
There never wasn't, we never did do any work on the roads, really. I mean, in the contract, the roads were kind of there and they kind of just existed. We were never contracted to do any improvements on the road. And I do know that yesterday, and I assume, well, unless a friendly citizen did it, I'm assuming that the city, they have graded them some, because when I was driving around yesterday, it was in a lot better shape. I mean, it was hardly bumpy.
Well, we've had our street crew out there doing that in preparation for because that loop, when you made the loop around, it was really bad coming back around. And then Sean and I went out there today. There's some material that they're gonna take out of the the playground that's there for, what is it, the Lions Club? And then we're gonna take that and reuse some of that. But we should be able to improve that dirt road that's around it that wasn't
Right.
part of the scope of the original project.
The pea gravel at the Lions Club playgrounds, the two big playgrounds, in our phase we're in now, the pea gravel in there is coming out. And so I told Ms. Turner probably a really good use for that pea gravel would be to improve the road that comes into the park, that goes into the concession stand.
Well, pea gravel was pretty expensive for that. Initially you said you were gonna use it around the concession.
Around the concession stand, and the pea gravel is reuse the pea gravel that already is in the playgrounds, because we're gonna remove the pea gravel to put new approved surfacing in there, and so all we have to do is scoop it up, dump it in a dump truck and move it. So the city already owns it. We're you know, you can put it around the concession or you can improve that road. It's there, and there's a lot of it. I mean, there's 6 inches of pea gravel probably in, I don't know, 6,000 square feet of space, so there's a lot.
Another question is, Little League's ready to start, how's it gonna affect you trying to fix the drain for the Little League?
It shouldn't affect, I mean, as far as I understand from Mr. Tackett is that right now they're not practicing in those little fields, in the fields that are in the kind of the affected area. And so, you know, in practice usually starts during the week, usually like after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So all the work will be done, you know, during the daytime whenever the kids are in school. Like I say, we didn't estimate that it should be more than 2 days to get that berm reshaped so it'll let the water drain. So I don't think.
Is that what the engineer said, to do it like that, or what?
What's that?
Is that how the engineer said to?
That is, yes, sir. Yeah, the engineers came up with kind of basically gave us 2 options. That option, which what we're going to go with, is a feasible option. The other option was to try and put some sort of a culvert underneath the road going back towards the rodeo arena. But their grades that they shot were just right immediately around that area. And as you guys all know who have been back there, from that road back to the rodeo arena, it slopes up probably 8 feet. So if we push that water there, we'd push it and it would just come back on us. So there's the berm that, and the handicap parking on the football field, what's on the small parking lot on the backside. If you're standing on that handicap parking, you can, when you look to your right, there's a berm that kind of goes all the way down and it tapers down as it gets to those little fields. It's kind of a big dirt mound that goes around. And so what it looks like is happening, and we can see the water fingering as it comes back into that hillside, is that berm is blocking it off. And so the water that's fallen over there will run back up to that berm, and then it will settle back out of that area because it can't escape. It's kind of contained in there. So we're gonna take the side of that berm and then just kind of do a little earth valley gutter to give it a good channel back into that inlet that is on the sidewalk going down right there, is the plan.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if I may. Madam Dibble had submitted 3 questions, and she asked that I read them and asked if I could during this presentation. She wanted me to ask you about an update on all repairs to phase 1. And then her second question was, who is paying for those repairs? Her concern was re-engineering of the fields. And what is a completion date, if you could give her an estimate?
Okay. So question number 1, it was an update on fixes. I think we've, so far as I understand what has been requested to us from the Little League Association, we've done everything that they've requested up to this point. And we walked yesterday, Mr. Tackett and I, for about an hour and looked at everything and talked about everything. And so there's a couple of things that we have that are pending, one being what we were just speaking about, the correcting of the dirt. And then another thing, some of the doors are not locking very well, so we're going to disassemble the push the push exits and kind of make sure everything's working right in there. Maybe they got a little rusty or something. So we're going to do those. Those are two things that are pending that we'll be doing as soon as we start. Who's paying for it? I guess I'm paying for it because you aren't. So we're the only two sources. So Harlan is paying for all. I basically look at it as warranty work, and so it falls under that for me. So we pay the guys to do all the work as it comes up. A completion date on the first items that we're starting to work on. I won't tell you what the contractors tell me because we'd have to hold to that. It's going to go pretty quick. I can say on the first items that we discussed that we're starting on now, kind of to get that money flowing back into the city, probably 90 days to get these items done. And then of course that's not completing the whole project. That's getting this first part so we can get draws. Funding can come back to the city, and then they can use the funding to do all the rest of it.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor. Thank you. Sean, how are you doing, sir? Was phase one supposed to be completed last year?
Phase one was completed in November of last year. Is that kind of where we were, somewhere in that neighborhood?
Was it supposed to be completed last year?
I don't understand the question.
Is the T-ball fields part of
Phase one.
phase
It is, yes, sir, yes.
Why wait a year?
Well, I mean, from our complete date until now it's been about 4 months, and so now we're able to fix them. The big, it's a legitimate question, and the biggest unknown that we had to deal with was how fast was Parks and Wildlife going to approve our project, and so. Like I say, we've worked on these type of projects where they can get approved in 2 weeks. They can go 4 or 5 months sometimes. Basically the time between the finish of the first contract and fixing these problems has been the time that we've been going through the paperwork with Parks and Wildlife. It's always been the intention, because it is going to take earth moving equipment to fix that area, and we knew right away we had a lot of earth moving equipment on site to build the second football field, and so always the idea has been, if we need dirt, we're going to pick up some dirt on the football field, and we'll have the equipment on site to go down and make that correction.
That's going to be the first thing on your list.
Yes, sir,
The
absolutely.
T-ball.
Yes.
Second, are we going to have the same issues like last year?
I hope not. I mean, I don't anticipate it. Everything we have to work on is pretty straightforward. We have very competent people working with us on this project. I can't, anything can happen, but I anticipate things to go smoothly.
The contractors, are they're from Floresville? Wilson County?
Wilson
or
County, yes, sir. From Wilson County, from Pope, I believe, where most of them are from, but they're local Wilson County people, yes, sir.
Okay, so when is the completion date for phase two?
When is the completion date? Well, the technical completion date was 10 months from notice to proceed. Notice to proceed was last week, so that's kind of, that we're on the clock now. It's not going to take nearly that long. I mean, that was kind of the number that was put into the contract, but we should have it. I feel very confident it'll be done well before 10 months.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I yield the floor. Thank you, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Is there any more questions? You can come up to the, okay.
Yes.
Sean, I'm Michelle Moore with the Floresville Little League. Just a quick question, when does phase two start? You said you had noticed
Next
it
week.
last week?
Yes,
So it's gonna start
next week, yes,
Next
sir.
week? Next week on Monday?
We're pushing for it. Yeah, I mean, like I say, that we have to mobilize some equipment. Some equipment's there, but all the equipment has to be mobilized, and that takes a little bit of time. Some of that stuff has to be hauled in oversized loads and stuff like that. So it's coming, but it'll be next week.
And as Councilman Ortiz said, T-ball fields are first
Very
thing
first
on
thing
your
we do.
list.
Yes, ma'am.
then we'll get notice to our parents to let them know
Okay.
that y'all will be
Over there,
over there.
yeah. And
To
we'll,
beware and
to
cautious.
beware, for sure. And like I say, I don't think y'all have practices that ever start before like 4 o'clock in the afternoon
Right.
during the weekdays.
Right.
And so we will be, through the whole construction, everything we have to do, we'll be mindful of, clearing the way, being out of the way when practice time starts. So we're not
Right,
in
and
conflict.
machinery will be put behind a cautious tape or something.
Yeah,
because
it'll be
you
staged
know.
back on the parking lot, on the far side of the parking lot over there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez?
May I please?
Sure.
I have several questions, Mayor, Pro Tem, Council, Fred Gonzalez from Floresville. I don't necessarily intend to get, precise answers, but I would like to have at least an idea. Probably this could be answered by either the city manager or Ms. Moreno or both. And my first question is, how much is there left of the original investment? Do we know? And again, it doesn't have to be precise.
I couldn't give you that number, but we can run those numbers in reference to that, the engineering, and of course, there's an engineering fee and costs and other associated fees like the architecture. I can run a report and get it to EDC, so I can give you precise
Sure.
numbers of what it was paid, but I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Okay, and I'm asking you as a citizen, not necessarily FEDC, that would be okay too.
Okay, but you can weigh that out, and we'll make sure that we get it to your board.
Okay, thank you. And the other question is, how do we finance this particular phase? Would we have enough money left over from the other to cover this, more or less?
Yes, because when we applied, the reason why we got this grant was because they have what we call an overmatch. And so we've already put more than the $500,000 into this park because of what we did in our phase one. And it takes a lot longer when you have to spend so much, getting reimbursed, spend so much, getting reimbursed. It takes a lot longer than when we could just send the money. But I'll give you that dollar figure and we'll be able to do that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question, who has the ball, so to speak, on this particular phase?
Who has the what?
The ball, who's going to carry the ball?
From the city side or from?
We were involved heavily in the first phase, but at this point, FEDC doesn't necessarily, it has any commitment to do anything else, or do we?
Well, I think we've had several joint meetings, and I believe the last time we hosted a meeting with the youth, that we were here when we were talking about the agreement, we included not only 4A, but 4B, and the city council as well. And so this is the final plan that we can do. I'm hoping at your next meeting, I can come and present it and bring it to you for the case, so that we can say, this is definitely a community park. Everybody has a part to that. And so the council met with them about the youth agreement, 4A and 4B was here as well, and so we want to bring that to you. But this is the first time, I just received those plans today, and I wanted to share it with the council, and I'll be bringing it to EDC.
Sure. I'm not complaining, I'm simply.
No, this because I've heard you complain, and that didn't sound like a complaint.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, everybody else, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any more questions from me? No? Okay. All right.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Turner, can I move the agenda around or not?
Yes, ma'am, you are mayor, and this is your meeting.
Can I have a motion to
Yeah,
go?
I make a motion
To go into consent?
to move item 4A to the top, to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Okay.
There has to be-
Pursuant to section 551.071 of Texas Government Code, legal, to seek or receive attorney's advice on legal matters that are not related to litigations or the settlement of litigations. Consult with attorney. I have a
Mayor, we
motion
need a
and a second. All in favor?
Mayor, can you note the time?
And the time is 6:50.
Thank you.